Hi, I'm Jen, and you're listening to the Shadow Sanctuary, where I dig into the history of haunted locations to try and find a correlation between historical fact and paranormal experience. Is there a reason for the haunting? Why does energy stay? Keep listening to find out more. Welcome to the Shadow Sanctuary. I'm your host, Jen. It's Friday night. I hope that everyone had a great week. Get cozy because tonight I'm going to tell you about Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant in Egg Harbor, Wisconsin. So let's get into it. Nestled on the Green Bay Peninsula sits a town called Egg Harbor. There are many conflicting stories about how Egg Harbor got its name. Some say its name came from the first settler to the area who found a nest of eggs on the shore. Others say it got its name because seagulls nested along the shore and you could gather eggs from their nests. One story even suggests that 3 or 4 boats were rowing ashore and there was a race among the boaters to see who could make it to shore first. They started to throw food from the mess baskets at the leading boat. It started with hardtack and ended up as eggs. Once they reached shore, the egg fight continued until all the eggs were gone, and that's how it became known as Egg Harbor. Irregardless of how it got its name, Egg Harbor was the 10th organized town in Door County, Wisconsin, and was established on July 9th, 1861. The first settlers in Egg Harbor were Jacob and Levi Thorpe, who purchased land and started lumbering operations. They built a pier to ship their products, and in 1865, French-Canadian families began arriving in Egg Harbor. In 1882, George Beringer built a saloon originally named Kewanee House to serve the area's growing population of lumberjacks, sailors, and travelers. It is now known as Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant. In 1904, the building was expanded to include a dining area and guest rooms. In 1912, the building was renamed the Harbor Inn. The spirit of a logger that is rumored to have been murdered on the property in the late 1800s has been seen, and he has a rather grouchy disposition. A Victorian-era female traveler is also said to be seen waiting in the entrance to the pub and restaurant. In the 1920s, Al Capone, the Prohibition gangster who dominated organized crime in Chicago, had a hideout in northern Wisconsin. 407 acres of wooded property with a stone and log cabin, machine gun turret, and 8-car garage. Hydroplanes flew whiskey from Canada to this hideout. He also owned a home in Brookfield. It served as a stopping point between Chicago's South Side and his cabin in northern Wisconsin. So what does Al Capone's properties in Wisconsin have to do with Egg Harbor and Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant? Egg Harbor is not that far from Chicago, Brookfield, northern Wisconsin, or Canada. Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant has underground tunnels that Capone used for Prohibition dealings. There's even a story that says any FBI or IRS agent that crossed Capone would be unalived and put down there, and that staff have felt their presence. It is also said that one of Capone's girls had an illegitimate baby by Capone, and that one day the baby and the mother disappeared. Patrons of the Shipwrecked Brew Pub hear what sounds like a baby crying. Locals also tell the story that Capone's illegitimate adult son unalived himself, or rather, someone else did, in the attic. From 1945 to 1975, Verna and Maurice Moore opened the inn as Murphy's Harbor Inn. Verna Moore, she's said to haunt the Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant. Most feel her presence when something's about to happen. She has been seen in the dining room and heard in the basement. She also has been known to move furniture around in the upstairs hotel suites. In 1997, The building was converted into Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant and became Door County's first microbrewery. In 2017, an electrical fire destroyed the building and it was torn down and rebuilt. It reopened in June of 2018. Shipwrecked Brew Pub and Restaurant is known for its small batch ales, burgers, barbecue, and pub food. They also have a full bar with local wines and spirits. They are located at 7791 Wisconsin 42, Egg Harbor, Wisconsin. If you pay them a visit, make sure you tell them the Shadow Sanctuary podcast sent you. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information on upcoming episodes. As always, don't let the eerie vibes fade too quickly. Stay haunted, my friends.